Welcome to today's Camino segment, where when it comes to staying informed, it is vital to have not only a news source that you can trust, but one that you can actually understand as well. And joining me to tell us about one of those sources, those key sources, is Pauline Rivera, publisher of Voz Colorado, Denver's first bilingual newspaper. Thanks so much for coming in.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's so great to be here. So tell us a bit about what is Voz and its impact in the community.
And I'll correct you a little bit. It's La Voz,
La
which
Voz.
is the voice.
That would be, there you go.
But
Thank
a
you
lot
so
of people
much.
make that.
Appreciate that, yes.
Thank you. La Voz is an element of media and communications that has been around for 52 years now. And it's essential to the community here because Denver County alone is 30% Latino. So in media, the news that is put out and the stories that are put out should always reflect the population that's there. That hasn't necessarily happened for years. So La Voz has been there for the community in times of good news and bad news, you know, great front pages, sad front pages. But we've been there for the community in 2 languages. And it's important because that's not going away. The country, for instance, is very multilingual. The state of Colorado is becoming very bilingual, and we need that element of communication for the population that is real. And that's when La Voz has been, as I said, 5 decades or more, going on 6 hopefully. And we're very proud of what it's accomplished, and I think we have a great reputation in the community as well.
Yeah, and you talk about the need for information. You also need reporting from inside communities to understand what's actually going on. So you need reporters doing that work, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So both you and your husband are publishers. What was the impetus for the purchase of La Voz by you and your husband?
Okay, well, my husband's kind of a silent partner.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But he does help.
We'll give him a little props here.
Yes, he does do very well. He helps out quite a bit, and but he's retired now. But as far as, you know, getting into the picture of, you know, La Voz print, I worked at Denver 7 for about 15 years. And so there was a lot of programming that I was in. There was community affairs. But it was kind of a matter, getting into the La Voz kind of realm it was a matter of destiny, and I think maybe reality and maybe timing. So the destiny was when I was 6 years old, I started kindergarten knowing 2 languages, English and Spanish. And so I thought everybody in the world was bilingual, and it was pretty cool. My classmates were bilingual. The teachers looked just like my parents. My parents spoke Spanish, but they knew English. My siblings spoke Spanish, but they preferred English. And so that kind of foundation was set there for a bilingual kind of background. So I was very proud of that. As I got older, I realized the world and the state was not bilingual. But anyway, the timing part of it was at Channel 7, they restructured. I lost my position there. I worked for Comcast for a little bit, and then I was approached by the managers of La Voz and said, will you plan an event for us? Our 40th anniversary is coming up. And I said, sure, I'll do that. And lo and behold, I'm there months later. It was a success, by the way. I was there because they liked what I was doing. I created Student of the Week. I created Where Are They Now? I created Mis Recuerdos. They were all in an effort to have role models for our youth. It was to highlight professionals that had graduated from the universities and then show them in their position so that we could have great role models and great things for our youth coming up. And so that's what the 3 things that I developed, and that was the timing part of it. Now the reality was I worked at 7 and I saw behind the scenes where they tried to be diverse back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even now. And it didn't necessarily work out there. The population was growing, but the stories weren't catching up about people in the community, about professionals, about our youth. What I was hearing instead was teenage pregnancies, high school dropouts, you know, things like that, you know, related to their joining gangs. And I thought, this is not a true story. There are so many deserving people, so many deserving youth that need to be highlighted, and that's what we did. So that's been the intent of the newspaper, is to show that we are a culture and a community that is educated, that cares about community.
Yeah. If people want to read, find where you are, what do they need to know?
Okay, well, we are online as well, so they can find us at lavozcolorado.com. Okay.
Got it.
And we are distributed across the state of Colorado at various, I mean, it could be banks, it can be, we're at high schools as well because they use our newspaper for multicultural or Spanish language classes. So we're very proud of that. And we have various locations. For instance, I'm not trying to plug Safeway, but lots of their locations
I was just saying, I've seen it out and
carry
about.
our newspaper.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Pauline Rivera, thank you so much for coming
Thank
in.
you.
We appreciate it.